أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسولنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Is it recording? Okay. Do we notice that when we look at the universe, the things around us, the world, according to our expectations, it changes? Yeah? If you are gloomy, if you are distressed, if you have lost your hope, whatever happens outside, you just look at them, yeah, but you don't get excited because you are distressed in yourself, inside. But the universe is the same. If you are hopeful, everything will be beautiful for you. The winter will be wonderful. It is snowing, lovely. You know, even it snows. Wind, oh, the beautiful wind. You interpret accordingly. So the texts, especially the scriptures, which are not narrating the historical facts, the books which are not narrating physical facts, but descriptive and open to interpretation, these texts also change their meaning according to your expectations. So what you expect, it doesn't mean that text has no meaning. The universe has meaning. But you may change it in interpretation. You cannot change the number of the things around you. But you can interpret it according to your mirror. According to your mirror inside. Yeah, you get too early. Yeah, let's get warm up. Yeah, so you can change it. But it doesn't mean that you change the reality. No, you change the word according to you. So scriptures are the same. So we will discuss today, maybe next week as well, depends on how it goes. When you expect something in your expertise, in your specialities, from the Qur'an or Hadith or any scripture, any source, accordingly you benefit from it. It doesn't have to be right or wrong. That's what we are going to study today. Nothing is essentially wrong if you don't have the bad intention, it misinterpreted deliberately. Otherwise, for example, if someone wants to learn something about a profession, we will study that, then you can look at the scripture and get some guidance, which is quite normal. And you don't see the other side because it is not within your expectations. Now, this is just an introduction, very simple introduction. Now we will go to our understanding of religion. If we reduce religion to belief in God and say that I really believe in God, the universe has been created by a supreme being, which is absolute being, you can say. You don't have to describe God wrongly in order to make a mistake. No, you can describe God rightly. He is the absolute creator. He is the supreme being. You cannot really describe him in terms of anything because he doesn't look like the universe at all. Nothing is or looks like him. So it is impossible because the universe is his work. So you can have this right understanding of God, the creator God, the owner of the universe God. But it doesn't mean that you are living in this world on the right track. It doesn't mean that we are using our free will rightly, in the right way. Is it clear? No, you believe in God, but it is a remote God. It is the Creator, but what I am doing here, using my free will and choosing. It doesn't mean that because I believed in God, my choices are right in the world, in my life. Clear? No?
So far, I guess.
Yeah, of course so far, yeah. It is clear. And problem? What are we going to do then? The people start thinking about this, and how are they going to help us? There are mainly two approaches to solve this problem. One is very extremely popular. Since we believe in God,
Sorry, what problem?
the problem to make sure that my choices are right choices. I am making right decisions in this world.
Isn't right something very relative?
No, essentially everything will be relative to you, but I think I'm not making it clear. For example, doing this way or another way. I don't want to give any real physical example. Just deciding to do this or that. In this decision, whether you are doing it the right decision or not, we don't know.
Does there have to be a right decision and a wrong
Yes,
decision?
of course, right decision, wrong decision. I mean, according to your...
I can wear this shirt or wear another shirt. It's not right.
No. I mean, it's something more essential than this shirt or this shirt. For example, you can wear the shirt to show off, or you can wear a shirt to protect your body and to impress other people.
So, if there is a judgment day, which
Judgment day is far away.
I know, but it's destiny, right? It's going to happen.
I know where you are going perfectly. Just listen. Yeah, because I like the questions if you understand the subject, but you don't know where we are going. So, do you think that this is a religious meeting? It's not a religious meeting.
No, it's not about religion. It's just a
why
question.
is it judgment day?
I was leading to, okay, so if there is a judgment day, you agree that, right?
Well, we don't know.
You don't know when it is, but
No, we don't know whether
you don't know.
or not. I don't know. I haven't studied that. We haven't studied this. Did we study that there must be a judgment day? Did we conclude that?
Not in 2 years. We haven't.
Yeah. No, it is not easy. It's not easy. That's why I know where you are coming, but the first two words are enough for everybody. So be patient, because we are not really studying religion here. We are studying to understand what our reality is. And let's see if we can benefit from the religious sources. No, that's why we don't know yet. We will study. It takes years.
I have another question.
Just be patient.
It's not based on religion. It's just, you said that perception changes with mood, right?
With what?
Like if you're happy, the
According
world
to
is
your mood,
better.
yeah.
If you're sad, the world is sadder. But what if you're sick? Like that's not your perception, but
It is not the purpose. We are studying something that, according to your position, the outside world, external world, may appear to revealing to you something different according to your position. That's what we study. We are not studying that subject that whether you are ill, you are happy. We are just saying that internal perspective internal mode, may change the meaning outside world. Accordingly, you can read the text, scripture in general, a book, and give meaning according to your expectations, because we are just getting into the subject, because we are going somewhere. Yeah? Let us go first. Be patient, inshallah. So, in order to educate ourselves in this world, which kind of criteria we are going to use to educate ourselves, in order to make a right decision and do something in the right way. What are we going to do in this world? So the shortcut is, some people say, okay, we believe in God, and of course we are human beings, we can follow our instincts and develop, of course, try and error. This is wrong and this is right. We can learn. Some people say no. This universe is meaningful. It is created on a purpose, and we can see the purpose everywhere, right? And the universe, the creator of the universe must also teach me, educate me, guide me in one way. In a way. I don't know yet, but do I need it or not? This is the question. Do I need that my creator will guide me, help me, or not? How? We don't know yet. But do you feel that? Do you feel that your creator must help you in your decision-making process? Whoever made you, because you are made with a free will. So I'm going very fast, but okay.
I don't think there's always a need to talk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in every situation, because you were brought up in a society with morals, with certain judgments of what's right and what is wrong already, that you can kind of make impulse decisions without thinking about it and end up being the right thing.
Do you really, if you really feel this, then your creator will remain remote to you, right? And you believe in the creator, but you are following your instinct. You're learning maybe information you get or examples you hear from here and there. It will be based on, again, try and error. So do you really, it depends on you. Have you really seriously thought that my maker, whoever made me, with the free will, free choice, and not absolutely sure which is right, which is wrong, and I need guidance from him? Do you really feel, do we really need this? But we may think in despair that no, I can learn from the society. Can you make sure that why or for what purpose you have been created and your society is leading you to the right purpose of your existence? Can you make sure? Do we really need guidance from our creator or not in order to teach us how to really choose in our life? Of course, there are certain things then the creator will say, do it what you want or what, don't do this, do that, etc. Rules, Simon, from the creator. You wanted to say something?
Well, it's sort of a question to what you're just saying right now.
Yeah.
Can't that guidance be in the form of that instinct that I have, because
Yeah.
that instinct is created,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
we talked before about God being an educator God,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. Yes.
And so I can make mistakes, and then my own self will feel bad, and
Yeah.
so I learn, okay, maybe I shouldn't do that,
Mhm.
and so it's sort of self-correcting in a way. Can that guidance be in that form? I think the sister
And
was saying something
do we,
to that.
do
point.
we, what I want to say, really, do we really feel the need that God must help me to make my, especially main decisions, guide me, how to use this universe, how to use myself. Of course, He has given me instincts, yeah, and I can use my instinct because I don't have any other source to check myself whether I'm doing right or wrong. But I'm just only asking this question. One question: do we really need that? The Creator must come to my help to make right decisions, especially about the fundamental matters for myself. I can be sure that I can find the truth, and all people in the society, historically, everybody found the truth for themselves and made right decisions. Or do we keep refining them, reviewing them, changing them? Societies change their norms. It means today I may see that this is right, tomorrow I may see that, it wasn't right, really, I have to do it in another way. Although I should not ignore my instinct. Do you get it? No.
I can see that
Yeah.
I would want that kind of guidance,
Yeah.
but I don't know if that's proof enough for that it exists.
No. What? If you feel that it is better if I receive a guidance from my Creator, what to do, how to deal with my life, that feeling is the proof. That feeling is given to you. It is created. If you feel that. If, for example, you go to school and you see that you need teachers to teach you something. You need textbooks to teach you something. The previously trained people, you feel that you need their guidance. You get education from them, help from them. How about getting guidance from the Creator? Do we need it? Do we feel that we need it? Well, not necessarily. Our friend over there said, not in every aspect. Well, let's say in general, do we need it? So if my Creator helps me, because I need this, then what happens? What happens? Then the people start getting instructions from God's speech. It means scriptures. For organizing your life. Instructions. Some people feel that. Some people say, no, I can deal with my life and, I can learn, and I don't need God to interfere into my life and send me guidance. I don't need that. I can manage with my life. I know what is right, what is wrong. If you feel comfortable, what happens after, in this situation? Belief in God, religion turns into spirituality. I'm spiritual. It means I don't deny God. I don't deny the Creator. So the alternative to spirituality is there must be rules, guidance from the Creator, and we must introduce this guidance to our life. So listen to God in order to get guidance. There are two main trends in the world, and especially certain religious traditions. Judaism is full of rules. Islam, from one perspective, is full of rules. Christianity doesn't mind much, not much. But doesn't matter. I'm not making any decision about any religion. So there are some people taking this way, there are some people taking another way, but how are we going to decide which one is correct, and how are we going to really make sure of our status in this world? How? The third alternative is different. But the first alternative is the very, to me, to my experience, or to my understanding, it's personal, you take it or leave it. Spirituality is prevailing. Yeah. Among Christians, among other religious people, Hindus, Buddhists, and Muslims as well, spirituality is really growing fast and influential. Because the more people start or feel confident in their own instinct and in their own decision-making process, the less they need God to interfere into their life. That is the trend nowadays. People are developing more and more self-confidence and feeling that they can find the truth. They can really find the right and wrong, not in details. Don't misunderstand. Yeah? But main category of life, for example, which one I should say, how I should see the world, how I should organize my life in general. In general, not that I'm going to wear a white shirt or blue shirt. No, it's detail. We will see. We will see. We don't know. But the trend is, to me, there are three options. Two of them are, one of them is flourishing. The other one is diminishing. And the third one is unknown. What are they? Categorically speaking, I'm not talking about a person or a community. The flourishing is spirituality. It means definitely we don't deny God. Definitely. The universe is created and everything is ordered, put in order by the Creator's decision and perfect decision. Now I am set free in my life. It doesn't mean that I am set free. I can do everything I want. No. I can make the decision between right and wrong by myself. So I follow my instinct. They say my spiritual inspirations. They put this name, I don't know what it means. Yeah, my spiritual, I listen to my conscience. For example, again, I don't know what it means. I'm not saying there is no such thing, but how are we going to define it? Problematic. It's not easy to define what conscience requires. Expectation, your own expectations, you justify this, A. If your expectation changed, you justify B. Your expectation changed. And we know that people are fighting. This is right from my perspective. This is wrong from others' perspective. For example, this becomes very distinct when there is a war. It means hot conflict of interest. According to America, it is the best country in the world, according to those people who fight, they are the best country, America is the worst country. But they are following their instincts, their civilization, their values. So this is one thing that's problematic. They say, no, I don't take any side. I listen to myself. How much we can trust ourselves alone? Now, previously we gave reference to, you pointed out, in our previous discussions, when somebody has an attitude saying that, no, God must speak to me, right? And give me guidance, especially direction, at least. Go this way, not this way. And in the main road, if you like, guidance, and you can change it through your conscience. Did I say change? You can check it. I'm sorry, it was no. You can check it through your conscience. How? Look, this conscience is created by Him. Of course, we will study this today, but if not today, maybe next week. We will study that. When a guidance comes to you, you will use your human instinct, human qualities given to you by the same Creator, and have a consultation with it. Consultation, it means your Creator is narrated to say this, to choose this, and you will consult your conscience and see the compatibility between these two. That is different. But without guidance, and you will decide, then you can describe yourself nowadays spirituality. Now, on the other side, which is classically and traditionally effective, influential in the religious societies, in most of the religious societies, you just follow the rules. Whatever the scripture tells you, do it. These are the rules. They write down the rules. You have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this. But one thing is missing there. They don't see the relation to human capacity, human experience of the world, and connect it and make it reasonable for human beings, reasonably acceptable, depending on your interpretation in your understanding of creation. Under the guidance of the scripture again, see the compatibility between what you say and what you hear. That is the third way. So mostly, what the religious people find it very practical to list the rules and impose to the people who say, I don't know, I will leave everything to my Creator. Let me know what my Creator wants me to do, I will do it. And they don't really see the correlation between what is narrated or not. So, what is narrated and, I said or not, right? I'm not being under control today. What is narrated and what your experience tells you. It must be compatible, but that is easy to narrate the rules only because people want to just listen to the rules, get the rules, do it, and finish. I'm done. I did it. Whatever religious requirements are, I did it. This is the lazy way, this is the easy way, and this is the way of ignorance to me, because it is based on imitation. So they don't, the majority of the people don't want to think, don't want to question. So majority of the people wait for you to, for the certain people to tell them what to do. Well, I believe in God, now what to do, tell me. But the danger is this. If somebody has grown up in a Jewish society, as an extreme example, of course, tell me what Torah says, and I will do it. And if somebody is grown in the Muslim society, tell me what Qur'an says or the Hadith, the prophetic example says, I will do it. That's what it is. So I don't want to go into detail. Just tell me what to do. But is there any way to confirm that what they are following is right or wrong? This is not taught. And we will go here in these rulings which are called Sharia, which are called fiqh rulings, yeah, in Islamic tradition or in Jewish tradition, halakha. So that's their rule, lists of rules as well in their tradition. Do they question, am I following the right scripture or is it the right scripture really? No. They are only taking into consideration what? I am a Muslim. I believe in God. Look. And tell me what to do according to Islamic rules. What is the difference between I am a Jew, I am ready to follow what Jewish sources, scriptures, sources tell. Tell me what to do, I will do it. What is the difference? Any difference?
No difference.
No difference. Now, how are we going to find the right way? How am I going to make sure that the rules presented to me is really the right ones or corrupt ones? Maybe corrupt, we don't know. We haven't investigated. So imitation doesn't make you feel secure in your religious life. Only what makes you secure appear to be secure. Sure. We don't know why, but I'm a Muslim, I'm sure my rules are the correct ones. The other one says, I am a Hindu, I am sure my rules are the correct ones. Have they investigated? No. How are we going to investigate is another matter, but they haven't investigated. What they investigate, whether this ruling is coming from the source and rightly interpreted and transferred to the people. Do you understand this? This is an important point. How authentic the source is, how authentic and right the interpretation of the law is, rather than legitimacy of the source. That is the third and not very known. Not common. Neither in Judaism, nor in the Jewish tradition, Christian tradition, Muslim tradition, Hindu tradition. People love following blindly. Whatever you say, no, you shouldn't do this, you should do like that. Really? How do you know? There is a hadith. Oh, yeah, okay, I'm going to do that. But the narration of the hadith goes back to the Prophet, and how do you know that the Prophet is really the Prophet or just an historical narration? Yeah, they say, the Jewish people also say that it is our religious tradition. Now, why aren't you a Jew then? Because I was grown in a Muslim community. The other one, because he was grown in a Jewish community. What is the difference? Now, we will come into this, yeah? Inshallah, after prayer. So that wasn't coming into the subject a little bit slowly, very slowly. Taner? Very slowly, eh? Don't hurry. Inshallah. Okay. Inshallah, you can. So, in order to follow the fiqh rules, juridical rules, what is required? Who follows the juridical rules? Which kind of person? I'm not asking a name.
Believer.
Sorry?
A believer.
Believes in what?
Whatever the laws they're following.
Yeah, it means belief is a prerequisite. Of course, we are not talking about whether the belief is right, wrong, or it is really well established or just traditionally accepted from the culture or ethnic culture or from your society. We are not talking about it. Belief and submission to the scripture is prerequisite. Otherwise, you cannot follow the rules. Because rules will be irrelevant to you. Who is telling me this? I don't accept it. Right? So we have to understand, this is very important, simple but extremely important, why something happened historically in Jewish tradition and Muslim tradition, especially these traditions are very well established. These traditions have very well established rules, and based on rules mostly, the education. So you have to be a Jew in order to practice. You have to be a Muslim in order to pray, in order to fast, in order to give zakat, or whatever you want to give to charity, or in order to do this then or the other. Follow the rules. Belief is prerequisite. Of course, the rules, we know that mainly concern two categories. One is individual rules, the other one is organizing the transactions. It means social life, your transactions. This is how religious life is established in a person or a society's life, which is where belief and submission have been accepted. I don't know how. Well, I'm not saying baseless. I'm not claiming it has they know what they are following. But usually what we see, if you are born in a Jewish family, you follow. If you say that, hey, no, I have to be a religious guy, what do? You follow
Jewish customs.
Yeah, Jewish customs, Jewish tradition, rules. If you are born in the Muslim community or life, what do you do? Mostly, you follow, if you want to submit yourself, your free will, to the rules, what do? You follow what you are asked to do or taught to do. If you are yourself a lawyer, a legislator, then you drive the rule and practice it. But belief is mostly taken for granted. I am a Muslim. The third, which is not very widely practiced in the community, the third way says, look, first you must accept that there is a purpose in your existence. Investigate it, and have a sound, convincing reason that you have to follow or you have to have a worldview which requires that you need guidance for your free will to use this way or in another way. But you have to have a firm conviction that yes, really, I need guidance from my creator, from the creator of the universe, and you have to have a worldview, and this guidance must be compatible with your human expectations. Otherwise, you will follow the rules in an imitative way. And you don't know whether you are right or wrong. If you were born in Israel, you would be following Jewish tradition. If you were born in a Muslim community, you would be following Muslim tradition. But fundamentals must be established first. We are not discussing yet what are the fundamentals, how are we going to, this is not our subject today. But we are just trying to understand how people use the religious sources and for what reason they use the religious sources according to their expectations, according to their purpose of reading the text, reading the scripture. They will derive conclusions from the Qur'an. If they are Muslims, if they were Jews, they will start taking some conclusions from the Torah teaching. Of course, they will question whether they will find it consistent or not. That is up to them. We don't know yet. But we are just talking about the approach, why people have different approach. Now, if the community in general, common people in general, take their religion for granted, belief, for granted, I am a Muslim. Why? They must have a reason. I don't know. We are not talking about people. But what we are talking, you must have a world view which is consistent with your human nature. And you must be convinced about it. You must be convinced about it. If you are not convinced about it, what do you do? On a spiritual level, whatever it is, again, I cannot describe or define what spirituality is really. Just saying that there must be a God. In religion, so if there is God, the religion must be true. So in the society, I find Christianity, I follow Christian tradition. But I have not investigated. It's a general assumption that, yeah, it makes sense. I am sure there is God. There are many people like that. Not millions, billions of people like that. I am sure there is God. And if there is God, religion must be correct. But what is religion? What is religion really? It claims that there is God, yeah, that's correct. Every religion, almost, every religion claims that they believe in God, the Creator, in this form or another form, but they believe in one God. Afterwards, depends on your investigation or not, we don't know at the personal level, you say, okay, tell me what to do. According to religion now. I want to organize my life according to religion. Then a very important profession develops. Profession. What is this profession? If you like, religious lawyers, legislators, jurists. This is the profession now. This is nothing but a lawyer. For example, are you in America, are you an American citizen? So you have to pay tax. If you live here, you have to pay tax. How am I going to pay my tax? I don't know. So go and ask a tax experts. And if you don't know if there is a law problem, you have to deal something officially. There are law regulations. You don't know. What do? You go and ask the lawyer. Do you think, I'm giving a little bit hint there, the lawyer has to believe in the truthfulness, in the reality of the legitimacy of the law he is producing to you? Most of the lawyers don't believe it. They go to the court, two people, one of them is, you say the defendant, the other one is? Prosecutor. So there are lawyers supporting the defender, the other lawyer just supporting the other side. In the court they fight. After the court, what do? They go to the same bar and they are friends. None of them really believes what they are doing right or wrong because it doesn't require in secular law. How about in religious law? Is it the same? You have to be convinced that what you are doing has a legitimate base for your understanding of the world existence. Right? But it doesn't have to be. Somebody learns the law and transfers the law to you. If he has not studied that, he can be a lawyer still. And saying that I'm a Muslim, I'm a professional Muslim lawyer. It means to certain degree mujtahid, or to certain degree, at a lower degree, faqih. Gives fatwa, verdicts to you. No, according to teachings of the hadith or the Qur'an, or you have to do it in this way. Why? He doesn't. He may not know either. Why? But yes, according to text, it is so. So what we have to do, ideally what must be done. Now, you studied law. If you want to be a perfect lawyer, first, what do you have to learn? Constitution. Fundamental principles. And whether you, in secular law, you don't have to agree, but you have to learn fundamental principles. In religious law, your mind, your human capacity must approve it if you want to be a sincere, consistent lawyer. First thing is to understand the fundamentals. It means your world view must be convincing for yourself. Is there any lawyer? Yeah? In secular, impossible. Impossible. In religious, we don't know the persons, people, but secular law doesn't require that you have to believe. But in religious law, any ruling makes sense if it is performed as a result of personal conviction. You have to be convinced. Not because you are a Muslim, you have to do it. No, you have to be convinced. So, majority of the popular people, majority of them, 99.9% of the people follow rules without being convinced. But very dedicated. Why? There is no other alternative. Because if they don't follow the rule, they are not following the requirements of religion. If they don't follow the requirements of religion, what they find, they are denying God, which is impossible. What becomes? Belief in the existence of God is the foundation, not belief in the truthfulness of the scripture they are following. Are you with me? A little bit? Not the scripture. It requires another study rather than the law itself, your word. For example, how do you see the world? Now, what happened historically? Now, text is there. I belong to a Muslim community. I want to have a profession. And what is the most acceptable, practical profession in the Muslim community to be a lawyer? Tell them what to do. Jurist, tell them what to do. And this is nothing but learning. Do you understand? Learning. It means here is the verse, here is the hadith, here is other ijtihad, which is, how do you say, decisions made by experts, real experts, and imitate them as, how do you call them, ijtihad, in law practice here. You can take examples from the high court. Sorry?
Precedent?
Precedent?
Yes.
Yeah. That is ijtihad in Islamic tradition. So, precedents. Previously, the law or the experts decided about this, and we are following that. Yeah. So, it's an example. Now, that's why the precedence is very important, because you can take it as an evidence. Now, in Islam also you can take it as an Islamic fiqh tradition, jurisprudential tradition, jurisprudential tradition. You can take precedence of the previous mujtahid decisions of the mujtahidun. So what they do now, they tell you what to do. If you ask them why, what do they say? What do they say? Why should I do this? What do they say?
It's the law.
Sorry?
It's the law.
Law. It means the Qur'an in Islamic tradition. Qur'an says so. Muhammad says so. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ says so. And you have to do it. And previous scholars also practiced in this way. So there are 4 or 5 main sources of decision making in Islamic tradition. You all know that this is very Sunday school culture now. The Quran, the Sunnah, the previous practice of the companions, it means a consensus of the Ummah in general, and if, depending on which school of law you follow, you can make analogy, which is called qiyas, between 2 similar events, and produce or make a logical conclusion because of the similarity, because of the by making through analogy, you can make a comparison between 2 events and issue another verdict. And if there is no such thing among these 4 sources, you can follow the custom of the society. Yeah? So these are the fundamentally 5, very basic, although the third one, qiyas, this analogy, is disputed. Some people didn't accept, but the minority didn't accept. Majority accepted it. So they say, why should I fast? You ask the question. The answer is, Because there is a verse in the Quran. Because the Prophet practiced in this way. Can they go further than this? No. Fiqh doesn't speak there. Law doesn't speak there. You have to do this. This is good. This is right. This is wrong. You have to pay this amount because law requires it to be like this, right? Where is the base for it? It means, yeah, Quran says so. Why should I follow the Quran? Yes, Muhammad, a person who's called Muhammad, is accepted by the people, the prophet of God or messenger of God. I'm speaking from distance now. God did it in this way. That's why I am doing it. Why do you follow a person? He's a prophet. What is prophethood? They don't know. That is common culture. Huh? We are not blaming any person. They don't know why. If they were in the Jewish community, they would say the same thing. Because previous rabbis issued a rule in this way. That is the reason, legitimate reason. Why should I follow Torah? Because it is God's word. Is it really, what does God's word mean? No, nonsense, right? That is, law is very widely practiced in Jewish society, in Muslim society. We have to understand that. Why I can ask a question which I wanted to ask. I wanted to ask this question at the very end. But now, how happened that Islamic in the Muslim community, Islamic education system at the end narrowed down to studying law only, almost only? Why? Historically. Have you ever thought about it? What happened? The Islamic education systems are called madrasa system. In madrasa, mostly you learn Arabic, you learn Qur'an, everything in order to issue fatwa, in order to issue verdict. Right? And Qur'an almost was forgotten about its teaching, which is establishing the worldview. What do you want? Why are you here? What is the purpose of your existence? What is the purpose of life? Is it really true? Which kind of evidence you have to follow in order to establish your belief system? This is ignored. Why? Because people didn't ask these questions. It wasn't the concern of the people. Professionally, does anybody, from your experience, I can ask you, have you come across a person who asked a question about you, who asked you a question about Constitution? Yeah, exactly the same thing. We ask what to do, or the general public ask what to do, how to do. They never ask what's the reason to follow Muhammad. What is the prophet? How do you know? What does prophet mean? Huh? What does it mean for you? Are you really sure? What do the Jewish people say? Muhammad wasn't a prophet, he was a liar. He was a pretender. How can they be sure that Muhammad was a pretender? How can you be sure that he wasn't? No study. People don't ask. Because people usually, what do? That's the general trend, which is very much a danger for us also to fall in. What they usually do? First, establish a belief in God, which is very easy. But we have to understand one thing. Believing in God is really essential as compared to not believing in God, denying that universe has been created. It is extremely crucial to say that, no, universe has been created by a supreme being. It is extremely important. But, there is a but. If you believe in God who is the creator and leave it there, come down and start following the rules of the community culture, ethnic culture. Do you get it? What happened? Spirituality, spiritual things that I'm spiritual, I believe in God, I belong to Him, suddenly jumps into imitation of the rules. How are we going to save ourselves from falling into this false attitude, which has an enormous gap between, yes, there must be a God, yes, I believe that these people believe in God. I'm not saying they are hypocrites. No. Yes, there must be a creator. I'm sure. Now I'm following my religious tradition. Why your religious tradition? Why do you follow the rules? Have you ever studied this religious tradition really from belief perspective? No. What does it teach you? So what will follow now? When the fiqh rules is discussed, the most important question is this. It's very famous and it's very widely used in the Muslim community. Met dalil ya akhi. Yeah? Do you understand? What is your dalil, evidence? It doesn't mean that you will give a convincing human answer. It means there is an hadith narrated in Bukhari that is authentic. It says Prophet did like this, we have to follow him. That is dalil, that is evidence. Do you understand? Base, why do you follow Muhammad rather than Moses? You don't know. You don't know. And why do you follow Moses or Muhammad or Jesus? Why? We don't know. We say there is a God. There must be a God. Therefore, religion must be true. The link, it makes sense, but it is not substantial. It is not convincing. That is why people become very stubborn in following the rule because they don't know why they are doing it. Why they are following a certain tradition rather than the other tradition. They don't know. This ignorance makes them radical. I am right. Yeah? Of course, the Jew says, I am right. Why? Because my religion is right. Exactly how? The Prophet struggled, Prophet Muhammad struggled against what? Tribalism. This is not a race tribalism, racial tribalism, but you say it, You say it, religious tribalism. My culture. My religion. Why? Because my religion is the best. Why? Because my religion is the best. That's the answer. No answer. Generally speaking, what we have to do, pay attention to this big gap between believing in God and following the rules. Big gap. And we will, inshallah, continue. Let's say, apply this rule and adapt it to the conditions of this new situation. No, they did this and they used reasoning there. That's why it is called this qiyas is sometimes understood as similarity, making comparisons, sometimes understood as well, not only compare, but analogy, and sometimes syllogism. Syllogism means logical reasoning. But again, never about belief system. Belief matters. If you ask them, why do you believe in angels? Quran says so. Right? Why do you believe in the hereafter? The Quran says so. Why do you believe in the Quran? Because it is our book. You know, circularity starts there. Because it is our book. And if you ask a Jew, why do you believe in Torah? Because it is our book. If you ask a Hindu, why do you believe in Vedas? Because it is our book. The same. You understand? So this was, yeah, okay. This was, well, I think we can stop, or one thing I can say. Now I can say one more thing about fiqh tradition, but we have to study the belief, studying or establishing the belief system next week, God willing. Now, can you ask for wisdom? Look, there are two things. One of them is, which is called illah, the real cause for your action. The other one is wisdom, hikmah. For example, why do you pray? Because God asked me to pray. That is illah. In fiqh, illah is the valid reason. If you have an solid, established reason or source which says you have to pray, you have to fast, then that is why you fast. That is called illah, the real effective cause of action. But there is hikmah as well. Hikmah means reason, as if something incentive. For example, if you pray, you organize your daily life. It is good, huh? You know where you stand. So when you fast, it is good for your health. You know you have to give a rest to your body at least for a month in a year, so that your body will get relaxed. Your stomach won't work every day and every moment. Now, for some time, your body will revive, yeah? Whatever, itself. These are wisdom. So now what is important? Again, according to fiqh rule, if you do any religious action, which is called ritual, because of wisdom, it is not valid. You have to do it because of illah. God ordered it. That is why, this is very important. Why? We have to establish a solid understanding of God or belief in God, in order to say that, yes, this God asked me. I am aware of it. But there is no such education. There is no such training. Blind imitation. Because I am a Muslim, I believe in God, so I believe in the Qur'an. Qur'an says so, I must fast. Yeah, but foundation, why do you believe? No reason. Because I belong to this tribe of Muslims. Now, instead of saying Quraysh, instead of saying Bani Qurayza, you say Muslim tribe. The same thing, tribalism. So, wisdom may be the case in your fasting, you may find some benefit, but because of the benefit, if you fast because of benefit, your fasting is not valid. According to fiqh rule, you have to fast because God ordered you. No, in order to have a valid reason, yes, you have to fast because God ordered you, but you must have a conscious belief of God, not general view of the word saying that this word is must have been created by a creator, a supreme being, and that's it, period. That is why it is very important. Allah is very important in fiqh practice. If you do anything, it must be because of your belief, not claim. Fiqh has no belief. Fiqh has claim. Do you understand this? So, fiqh alone can never be enough. Belief system must be established. Qur'an establishes the belief system. The Prophet in his life established the belief system and practiced it. But in the prophetic tradition, have they been narrated? Almost none. Why? Have you ever wondered? If you read hadith, there is no narration about belief education of the Prophet. No. No. But what is found in the books, history books, mention about what? Who killed what? How many people were killed? Which battle followed after another battle? Physical events. But suddenly, 300 people in Badr, 2 years later, in Uhud, 300 people becomes 3,000, and 2 years later, 4 years later, 3,500, 4,000, and 5 years later, let me say 5, after Hijrah, 8 years later, Muslim army becomes 10,000. The population of Medina was only 2,500. Where these 10,000 people came from? How? Sirah narration doesn't tell you this because it is not recorded in hadith narrations, because they were not asked. They were not the concern of the people. They were only concerned with what fiqh rules. How much money I should pay on my zakat, on my property as a zakat. How I should fast, from which time, to which time. Have you seen the crescent, first day of Ramadan? You have seen it. I haven't seen it. I calculated. You didn't calculate it. We went up the very high, the top of the mountain. You didn't. You were sleeping. Fight about whether you have seen the crescent or not. But we don't know how this 10,000 people, manpower, it means multiplied by 5, wives and children. That's Arab tribes. Everybody has at least, not 10, at least 4 or 5. So 10,000 means multiplied by 50,000 people. 10,000 manpower going to Mecca, back. How did this number increase? Where did these people come from? No explanation. Why? Because people were spreading Islam belief system. It is not recorded. Because it wasn't the concern of the community. Still, you go and a person says, okay, I'm a Muslim. Tell me what to do. Eh? No one says, teach me the teachings of the Qur'an. What are the fundamental teachings of the Qur'an? Reasoning that the Qur'an guides me. How? It is not the common. That's why I said there are three trends. One of them is spirituality, Spain and come and doing whatever they want in the world. The other one is following the rules blindly. The third one, Quranic teaching, is not studied. If you find anywhere, please let me know, I will go. Belief education. Now, we have to follow how this must shift next week, inshallah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Subhanaka la ilaha illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Wa akhiru da'wahum alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Bi hurmati sayyidina